Hey guys, B.O.L.T here. We're here for reimagining. Already did this with. Now that I think about it, I actually kind of want to reimagine. I've done this with The Walking Dead. I've done it with Miraculous, and I'm pretty sure I did it with JoJo. So, wait, who's this? Hold on. Well, but with the greatness that is Velma, I wanted to do a reimagining of it. So basically, it's just I see the biggest problem is the creator decided to just make it a self-inserted series with IPs that you shouldn't and cannot change if you want it to be a big and a successful series. So I think her name's Mindy or whatever, and she decided just to throw her personality as Velma. And I believe she said, don't quote me on this, but I believe she said that Velma had absolutely no personality, so she basically was going to fill it in and show off that she's this strong character. The only thing that this Velma shows is that she's a female dog that should be treated with absolutely no respect, because you can't treat people the way she does in real life without any problems coming back your way. So you have Velma, who's basically a bully. Then you have Daphne, who's a drug dealer, I believe it is. And then you have Fred, who's basically this overly obsessed, high-class person who they constantly make the fun of the fact that he's not hit maturity. Then you have Shaggy, also known as Norville, and he basically is just this clean person who just has the fancies for Velma. And it's stupid. And then you don't have Scooby-Doo. It's a Scooby-Doo IP without Scooby-Doo. I understand you're not, in case WB didn't want Scooby-Doo to be a part of an adult series, but still, the other characters shouldn't have been as bad. Here's how I would have seen it and would have went fine. Is you can keep the murder, you can keep the drugs, and you keep some of your jokes, but I want my characters back. Like, it's okay to throw a little bit of personality in there for Velma, because, they're side characters. They're not meant to be given wide, understood things. Like, seriously, unless you watched, like, the extra small stuff that they made, you didn't understand what half the characters cared about. The only thing you knew about was Scooby and some of Shaggy. Everyone else was pushed to the side until recent years, like 2012 is when they actually started expanding more on the characters. But the bad thing is, they kept not building upon what we already knew about. We just gave them a one note. Like half the time, Fred is either obsessed with the Mystery Machine, he's obsessed with traps, he's obsessed with leading, or he's just like a complete idiot. And Fred isn't like that. He's probably a higher up guy. Like, he's probably just like the Velma show is, where he's supposed to be a very high leveled person, but he's not supposed to be this dumb blonde. And then Daphne, I would understand a little bit of. Hold on, I'm sorry. Um, but basically, it's just it needs to be taken down. Um, so what I'm thinking for the reimagining is, I know this sounds bad, but basically make this a Nancy Drew story. You have a very smart individual that has, like, depend on your taste in terms of attractiveness, but she's smart. She's the more detective of all of the members. Do something with that. Don't make her a dumb, idiot teenager that just cries at the fact that there's white people in the world, or just things are always going to be this way. It's stupid. So I would just suggest having a very competent teenager who knows this stuff, because make it a mystery of that her mom went missing, so she got into that. So now she needs to learn everything she can, because Velma is like the Tony Stark of the Mystery Inc. group. She's studied almost every basis. She's the Batman of this group. She basically studies every single thing she can get her hands on just to have knowledge of it. So that's how most of the mysteries work, is because she knew what certain things were and was able to identify them. That is how they can continue with a mystery. That's her big rule. So make her basically a Nancy Drew in realistic terms, like the Nancy Drew games I play on Bolt Family. Those are perfect mysteries for her to be in. Like the fact that half the people in the end try to like let Nancy die, so there's no one left to figure out who did it. Um, or they're kind of they're in it for the money. So more realistic things. So take a Nancy Drew story, make Velma, and take her more groovy and funky personality, because she's from supposed to be like the 80s, 90s, and throw that in there. Bada bing, bada boom, you would make a good series. Keep her whatever race you want her to be. I just want you to freaking do something with her character. And then with Shaggy, I'm sorry, but I'd rather you make Fred the colored skin, because Shaggy's supposed to be your basic white druggie. So he's supposed to be your line for drug jokes, and you got rid of that for someone who's just head over heels for Thelma. So I would say he kind of be the guy that gets like ran in because he's got the connections, so they're framing him for the murders. That's what you could do. Is Shaggy's involved with stuff he's not supposed to? Mystery Incorporated, the realistic series, made it pretty good. Is he was dropping out of the drug trade because his dad was a cop, and basically still got caught up with the bad crowd. Just kind of do that, where Shaggy's like the most well-known person for all this stuff. Have the blame on him instead of Fred, who has no reason else than he's a white guy. And then you can have a black character with Fred, and I feel like a more grounded character for Fred would be good. Make him the jock. Make him the jock like he's supposed to be. He knows what he's doing. He's supposed to be the muscle of the group, and he's supposed to be headstrong and physically strong. So I let him kind of be the person that, if the team starts falling apart, he's able to hold them together. So I feel like that would be a better match um, for it. And for him, I don't really see you can do anything with him else than play with the fact that he has an ascot, and play with the fact that he's gay. Um, I would go ahead and do that. Then you have Daphne. I'm sorry, but I would basically put Fred's personality on her. That's what I would do. So you're basically switching most of the characters. Velma will be Nancy Drew slash groovy character. Then you have Daphne would be the actual Fred, the one who's high and mighty, doesn't care about anyone lower than her. Have Fred basically be your Shaggy or Norville. Basically, he's the more straightforward. He cares more about Daphne but he's still grounded to where he knows what's right and wrong. And then have Shaggy as your Daphne, where he's doing the drugs, doing the trade, doing the dirtier stuff, um, and still have that white guy because it just feels better that way. And then if you really needed to bring Scooby into it to be more realistic, because you can't really bring in the talking dog fact in this series, I feel like, if you had to, I would just have him as like a retired canine unit, like how Mr. Ink did. Um, and that's really it. It's just, seriously, Velma as a Nancy Drew. Fred is this black jock, handsome guy that has a good head on his head. Make Daphne or high and mighty. Um, she's with Fred for the fact that he's a jock and the fact that he's got higher status. And that's the only reason she's with talking to the group, period, is the fact that she has this high opportunity with him. Um, and she starts coming down to ground, and because she's so protected in normal life, make her danger prone because she's not used to dealing with stuff with her own. And then make Shaggy the druggie, and then if you bring Scooby in, make him a retired canine unit. There you go, mystery solved. Basically, the first season is like, let's say, 12 episodes. First episode, you show off Velma. You understand why she's like what happened to her mom, why she's researching all this stuff, and then at the very end of the episode, have the body fall out of the girl's locker room and start it there. That way, you've showed off your main character. You have her reasonings to have this research going on and why she's into mysteries, and then you have the realistic death come in at the end to be like, oh, it's a regular Scooby series, but it's not. Episode 2 basically start meeting the other characters, and kind of understanding that there's something around, and then probably like the very end of that episode kind of show off like the lesbian side of Velma. Um, that way you put in the water, like everyone's tried to have her lesbian, but they had it either watered down or completely banned. So go ahead and do that for episode 2 and just show her slowly showing it off. Episode 3, I'd probably say sharp pushing the fact that Shaggy's a big chance, and just have that for the rest of the first half, and then start actually having the team become a part of a team and a friend group to where they can figure out the mystery and actually get the killer put in bars. After that, I would actually have them start settling differences in season 2, start getting more closer and have a bigger bond between the 4 of them. And that's basically how I would rewrite or reimagine Velma. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.